Hi, my name's Michael Gatewood and I'm working in Photoshop CS6 and we have a great shot of scallops, but what we need to do is we need to remove a logo off a glass, and we're going to have to take our time with this because we don't have a lot of area to use to duplicate and to replace over this logo. The first thing I'm going to do is go over here, take a look at the layers, and add a transparent layer. Perfect. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to call this replace. Now, what we're going to also do is we're going to go in here, we're going to go to the clone stamp. Now, going to the clone stamp, we have an option here for going from current layer to all layers. And let me zoom in a little bit so you can see that. That's going to allow us to duplicate pixels from one layer below to the layer above. I'm going to zoom in because zooming in on this is going to be critical. We want to get in here close and be able to see exactly what we need to be able to see. So again, we're going to zoom in, get in there, and we're going to start cloning. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to be very careful not to get what I call marching soldiers, a repeating pattern that we can see with our eye. So what I'm doing is I'm taking off the top part of this logo, then I'm looking for area in here to kind of whisk away inside this highlight. Now the logo can barely be seen here. And again, we're going to go in, grab a couple of places. Now, one of the things I want to try to do is paint, not so much just dab. So what we're doing is we're kind of going in here and then repeating this. I'm going to go with a line to uncheck so it always goes back to the area I first sampled. And that's exactly what's kind of happening here. We're just kind of repeating that pattern, going in there and watching out for those marching soldiers. There we go. Now I'll repeat over here and over here. And what we're looking for is we're looking for areas to be able to duplicate that glass. And there again, we're coming in and we don't have a lot of area. So we're going to have to be very careful about watching out for that repeat. Every now and again I'm going to hold down the Alt key and kind of get in there and look for something that will keep it from stepping on itself over and over again. Now I've gone in and I've looked for some areas to be able to create more of a random pattern. Beautiful. Let's pop back out. That looks pretty good. There's our logo in the glass, and now we've gotten rid of it. That looks pretty good. One other thing we can do is add a slight blur to that area. But there again, I'm also afraid to lose texture. Here, let's merge this down, and let's see if going in here and copying, Control J makes a copy. Copy that layer and simply go in here to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and create just a slight blur at the top. Nothing big, just a little bit, and click OK. Now if I hold down the Alt key and add a mask, white reveals, black conceals. We have added a black mask. We can zoom in and simply go in and maybe add just a little bit of blur. Now we're going to change our brush to a soft round. There we go. I'm using bracket keys to resize. And there, just a slight blur over those areas. Kind of disguise that pattern. Now we're going to change the opacity ever so slightly so that it's not too much blur, just enough to take off any hard edges. Perfect. Let's merge down. And again, let's look back at this image and say we've gotten that taken care of. We've gotten rid of that logo, and now we're ready to go in there and get this thing ready for brochures, catalogs, newsletters, or the web.